What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, it seems that whoever's doing the paperwork over there at Sony needs to invest in, I don't know, G.I.M.P. G.I.M.P is a graphics program. It's an acronym, graphics interface something. I don't remember. But anyway. It seems that whoever was redacting information on this Activision Blizzard case, FTC versus Microsoft right now, on Sony's behalf, used the Sharpie. I mean, we don't need to use Sharpies anymore. You scan the document is probably already scanned, and then you go into Photoshop or the equivalent, G.I.M.P, and you put the black bars and boom, no problem, right? Right. But that's not what happened. Somebody had documents, then they Sharpied them out, then they, I guess, photocopied or scanned those documents and submitted them. That is the wrong way to do redactions because, yeah, we found out what the deets were, basically. I mean, come on, son. It's like, how inept are these people running these billion-dollar corporations? You can't even redact properly. It's not like, oops, I forgot to redact that. No, we redacted it, but we used crayons, and so we can see through it. Anyway, might as well get to the info, right? But what's the point of having fake redactions or failed redactions when you can't splooge the info to the peoples? So anyway, I just wrote it down. I didn't save the image, but. So the redaction basically was monies. How much money did Sony spend on The Last of Us Part 2 or Horizon Forbidden West? So for Horizon Forbidden West, they spent $212 million over 5 years with 300 employees, not including marketing. So you figure marketing is probably double the budget, closing in on $500 million for Horizon Forbidden West. Now you know that your boy, Sean Layden, was telling the truth when he said this business model is unsustainable. We cannot continue to make games like this. And he was right. Because $500 million for Horizon Forbidden West? Nah. Okay, moving on. Last was Part 2. $220 million over, I don't know how many years it was. I think it was longer, but I didn't get that info. I think it said it there, but I couldn't read it. And that was 200 and something employees, something like that. That's not including marketing, remember, so. Let's double it. It's closing in on $500 million. 2 games, $500 million. Sony, remember I said before, Sony got locked into this way of making games that their audience expects their games to be a certain way. The games that they were making that their audience loves and that they're so much known for and they get all these awards don't make them money because they spend too much money on them. And so now Sony's scrambling to do games of service, because it makes more money. But none of their customers want it. They've created this monster that is Sony, and they can't get out of it. They can't do anything about it. They're stuck. They got to keep making these cinematic masterpieces and wasting all their money. Meanwhile, Jim Ryan and some other dudes talk about, they want to waste all this money on Activision Blizzard King, is way overvaluated, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And this document also claimed that the Call of Duty revenue that PlayStation gets from it every year is like $800 million. It's close to $1 billion that they make from Call of Duty as it stands, as it is now, right? That's why they don't want to change anything, because if it's changed, then maybe they'll still make $800 million. Let's assume they will make $800 million. Let's assume that $800 million is the 30% that they get from their cut, right? I know it was 80-20 with Microsoft. I think it was still 70-30 with Sony. But anyway, let's assume the 800 million is 30%. Well, let's round it up to $1 billion to make the math easy. 30%, right? And so Microsoft gets 70. So that's like 7 billion. I don't even know what the math is because I'm dumb and math is hard for me. But it's way more. It's way more than 3. So I don't think Sony wants Microsoft to make more money. That's the thing. Because Xbox, excuse me. I don't think Microsoft wants Xbox to make more money, although technically it would be Microsoft making more money because Microsoft is buying Activision Blizzard King, not Xbox. So there's a distinction, and you have to realize that. Just like Sony owns Bungie, not PlayStation, Microsoft will own Activision Blizzard King. Anyway, so, that came out in the redacted documents. And then in these emails between Jim Ryan and his boys or whatever, it was another Sony CEO from back in the day. And he's like, this is back before he came out crying, Jim Ryan crying. He was like, we're not worried about it. It's more about King. It's more about mobile, blah, 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 right? And that's what Microsoft was saying. And then, behind closed doors, he's saying that, the truth. And then in front of the cameras, in the public eye, and to the regulators, he's saying a whole different, absolute opposite story. He's lying to the regulators, literally lying. It's like we were making fun of him. Oh, crying, lying Jim Ryan, right? He is literally a lying Jim Ryan. It's not like, I'm glad he's lying because now I can make 1,000 videos saying Jim Ryan's lying, Jim Ryan's lying, Jim Ryan's lying. Ain't no libel. He was caught lying. It's proof. So, ergo therefore, I'm clear. So I put all the lies, lying Jim Ryan. I'm gonna get a tattoo. I'm not getting a tattoo. So it is so cool that we get to see all the behind the scenes dirty dirt. And I knew this would happen because Sony was being petty. Sony is still being petty. He was so petty that Phil Spencer wrote him, basically a proposal. It's like, okay, it was a 5-year proposal before they upped it to 10, but it was 5 years, same thing, right? You get Call of Duty, you get all the different versions, any future versions of Call of Duty on all whatever PlayStation, you get that, right? Jim Ryan's like, no, that's not good enough. The reason why he said that is because he was still salty about the Bethesda buyout. He's still salty. He's looking at Starfield and how everybody's hyped about it. He's salty about Starfield. And he said it would be kind of cool if, we do the same thing with the Bethesda titles, that we're doing with Call of Duty. It would only be fair to the customers and the players and all that blah, blah, blah BS. And I'm like, this motherflower is trying to negotiate Bethesda in the Call of Duty. What the fuck? Why? I know why, but it's like, really? That's what you're gonna do? Yeah, no. See, if Phil Spencer would have been a punk and said, all right, fine, we'll give you Starfield, we'll give you the, right? Then they would have signed it and then none of this would be happening, right? Right? Maybe. But since lying Jim Ryan didn't get his way, petty as he is, acting like a biatch, he went to the regulators, spewing lies, so they can have something to charge Microsoft with, to be against, to block the deal. Now the CMA is looking foolish right now because everything that they said, it ain't holding up. It ain't holding up. And I know the European body, the UK body is looking at what's going on here, the FTC and stuff, and they're like, yeah, we not gonna do that. This is not gonna work out for us. And if they still want to stand their ground, then Microsoft be like, all right, y'all ain't getting it, bye. It's really about the FTC. It's not about the CMA. It would be not, Microsoft would be like, yeah, it'd be cool if we could just, get it done and just, do business. But if you want to be difficult, that's fine. We'll lose a couple of million from your little ass island. The world is bigger than the UK. I hope they know that. I hope the CMA realizes that their market is not a giant market. It's big, but it ain't that big. England's a small ass country comparably to the world. So, dude, I like the dirt. I like it when my intuition, I hate using that word, but whatever. You know, I see people, I'm like, I don't know about this Jim Ryan. Like, why would he say that? And then I'm looking at Phil Spencer. I'm like, Phil Spencer usually, he's straight and narrow. He's a programmer. He's a gamer. Jim Ryan is not a programmer. Jim Ryan is not a gamer. He's just a businessman. All he cares about is money. And he doesn't care how he gets it done. He doesn't care what he looks like getting it done. Which is not an issue with me, but at the same time, he's making Sony look real foolish right now. He's making PlayStation look real foolish right now. I want to know what the heads of Sony in Japan are saying, because, you know, I'm talking about the head guy at Sony, not Jim Ryan's small peanuts. The head person at Sony. I want to know how they feel about losing so much face in such little time in America over here. I wish Jim Ryan would have came live in person. That would have been the best ever. Man, like cross-examining him and stuff, man, catching him in more lies, man, been great. It would have been great. But, you know, he's too smart to get caught out there. And he knew he lied. He knew it. And he knew that the lawyers would bring it up. But anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out. Let me know, like, subscribe. Go down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this redaction, how much money Sony's spending on these AAA bangers, and, you know, is it worth it for them to keep doing this? And how can they sustain their prestige position, or their kind of how they're viewed by their fanboys in public without spending this ridiculous amount of money and not making enough money back? That $800 million was funding those giant games, and without all of that money, they'll still get some. Let's not be stupid. But it will be diminished. It will be smaller than 800 million based off of when people realize, oh, it's an Xbox. Xbox own them now, so it'll probably be better on Xbox, and everybody goes buy Xbox, or oh, it's on Game Pass. I don't need to spend $70 on it. So let's imagine it gets cut in half. They only make 400 million, so they can only make, you know, one less game, because they cost so much to make in the first place. So 500 million again, they only make one game, and there you go. So that's what Jim Ryan was crying about. That's why he was so salty, so scared. He was scared about losing that Call of Duty revenue. That's why he didn't want the deal to go through, because they're not going to get that 800 million. So all the pieces are falling together. If you're paying attention, all the pieces are locking up, and, you know, it is business at the end of the day, but it's also peace of mind. It's also the hearts and minds of the consumers. And right now, to consumers as a whole who care about these things, who care about, like, that their company is on the straight and narrow, if they found out about what Sony's doing and what they do or whatever, they could be like, oh, naive or ignorant and say, oh, that's just business. Or they'd be like, I don't like how they're doing business. How about I just move on? And if it's up to me, right, and Microsoft did all this stuff, and I was like, you know what, I'm done with Microsoft, I would be done with console gaming. I would migrate to PC, honestly. It would be more difficult, but there is a learning curve. But there are a lot of benefits to gaming on PC. One specifically is mods. Although Xbox does support mods for the Bethesda games, like Fallout and Skyrim. I've done those on Xbox, and they're pretty dope. But it is definitely better on PC. So, you know, that's something that I would think about moving forward. But for now, you know, I'll stay cashy cash. I'll buy a box, I'll throw it under there, and just boop, boop, let's go. Don't have to worry about stuff, but it's not the end. And honestly, I grew up on arcades. So arcades are the alpha and the omega. You know, they birthed me as a gamer. So now these consoles are just a means to an end, basically. And I could build a system setup that would kind of feed my nostalgic hunger, and it would satiate me. And then I'd buy a box just to play one or two games here. but it's not that serious. You know, honestly, it's not that serious. And there's so many things to do on this planet. Getting a little existential, but there's so many things to do in life that you can't be so worried about video games all the time. You know what I mean? So take that if you will, whatever. And you know, once again, I appreciate y'all for real, and I'll see you on the next one. Tilt the way.